This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Season's greetings to you all. I'm Shasheena Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, potential long-term business on the horizon for Grand Bahamas cruise sector. A new cruise vessel made a stop at the Freeport Harbor today, and stakeholders are going all out to attract this cruise line to our shores. Megan Shepard has the details.
The Coastal Luminosa making its inaugural visit to Freeport Grand Bahama Tuesday afternoon, bearing over 2,000 passengers. Now, despite inclement weather and a lack of sunshine, Captain Nicolo Alba says the passengers plan to make the best of the trip.
It's the first time that we are arriving here. It's my first day on board, and for me it's a big pleasure to stay in this beautiful island, even if there isn't the sun. But we hope that is coming the sun soon. And we hope for the next call we will have a beautiful weather in this beautiful island. We are coming from Miami, and we make 10 days cruise. We are going to Princess Cay, after we are going to Ocho Rios, after we are going to Grand Cayman, and after we are going to Cozumel and back to Miami. This is a cruise from European citizen, even if we bring also American citizen.
Port Director at the Freeport Harbor, Orlando Forbes, says this is the first of 4 trips set for Grand Bahama this year, but he plans to continue discussions with the cruise line in order to make Grand Bahama a permanent fixture on the ship's itinerary. There are 2 major cruise lines coming to the port, and Forbes says adding a new company can mean major benefits for Grand Bahama.
Potential impact is extremely significant. The harbor, as we appreciate, is doing pretty good right now, led mostly by Carnival, who sends in excess of 200 ships annually to add a different brand, just expand the dimensions. And again, when you look at the quality of the passengers and the spend that each passenger can potentially make, people like the straw vendors, people like the taxi drivers, the stores in Port Lucaya, again, people look forward to this type of thing, and so we hope that this is a business that we can continue to grow.
Public Relations Officer with the Ministry of Tourism, Brooke Sherman, says it is important for visitors to have a good time while on the island, and in order to attract repeat visitors, local businesses must ensure that visitors have a great experience.
Of course, we want to make sure everyone's entertained and has a good time. Well, we usually boast about the fact that we have over 100 activities for our guests to partake in. And we just want to encourage the different tour operators, restaurants, and local attractions to continue to market themselves, to be positioned for the new changes. And great things are going to keep coming.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
A new chapter unfolding in the hospitality sector in the West. The resort property has weathered many economic storms, from former owner Ginsu Mayor pulling up stakes to massive layoffs and a downturn in business. Now in 2014, resort operators are foreshadowing new winds of economic prosperity. Here's Joan Davis-Roll with this story.
The lure of a tropical paradise in West End, complete with 75 villas, a full-service marina and unmatched hospitality, are what officials believe are a winning combination for success. With the challenges of the past behind them and the promise of economic revival ahead, the new operators of the Old Bahama Bay are optimistic. At the beginning of this brand new year, ZNS News sat down with the resort's managing director and president of the Mariner Group, Alan Tenbrook.
The ownership group that is now owning and operating the property was formed last July. My company assisted in coordinating that. We've established it with all local management, headed up by James Calmer and Jackie Carroll. And we've spent really it was July of 2012. And so we spent really the first year, up until this past summer, kind of bringing the property back. Updating it, refurbishing it, reestablishing it in the resort marketplace. And then we've started out now this new year, starting July 1 through June of next year, very optimistic as to what we're going to be able to do.
Tenbrook said that the new owners are particularly thrilled about developing the resort's untapped potential.
The 3 major land-holding groups are, first of all, West End Resort Limited, which was the original developer here and still owns several tracts of land here. Secondly are the Lupert Adler companies, which were Mr. Ginn's partners for the very, very large project that was originally planned for here. And third, there's what's called the lender group, which is a group of lenders who had loaned money to the Ginn Lupert Adler team and who, when things slowed down, took ownership of some land in return for repayment of the loan. All three of them are exploring different options as far as restarting development. We have 75 condominium owners and 75 lot owners here at Old Bahama Bay. About 20 of the lots have homes on them. All 75 owners of the condominium units have put them in the resort rental program, and they are really also the owners of the new company that is operating the property.
A critical component of the resort's success, he stated, is attracting new and affordable airlift to Grand Bahama. He disclosed that plans are in the making for the reopening of the West End Airport.
We're working hard to get it reopened for private charter flights, as well as for flying clubs and others who have their own planes. People who are interested in flying are very much like boaters. They want to have a nice place to go in their airplane, just like a boater wants to have a nice place to go in their boat. And so we're working very hard here to get the airport reopened. We hope to have that accomplished here within the next month or two.
Joan Davis Rolle, ZNS Network News.
Well, 2013 has been described as a turbulent year for the labor movement in the country, with some unions involved in heated public battles defending the rights of their members. Leaders of the Trade Union Congress are hoping this year will be less contentious. In this report, they outline what is on the agenda for 2014. The past year was a difficult one for labor in the country, with many unions threatening industrial action. But veteran unionist Obie Ferguson says he is looking forward to a productive 2014, beginning with a number of changes to the Employment Act.
I certainly would like to see the definition of basic pay. I'd like to see that change now to incorporate gratuity as it is in effect with national insurance. I would like to see the redundancy provision of the Act to be extended or expanded to include persons who would have been employed for an excessive number of years.
He shares some of the things the TUC will be lobbying for in the coming year.
On the question of recognition, we want statutory laws which makes it mandatory that recognition be done within a certain period of time. And for the revocation of a determination certificate, we want that to be done by 50% or 60%, not by 25%, because you need 50 plus 1% to be the bargaining agent. We say, in all fairness, if you want to revoke that, you should also have the 50 plus 1 and not 25% as it now stands.
Director of Communications of the Bahamas Commonwealth of the TUC, Freddie Munning, says the union plans to educate workers on the impending change in the taxation system. He says they plan to hold a national workshop on value-added tax.
We know that there are going to be a number of challenges when we implement this. Is earmarked to be implemented sometime in July of this year, and certainly would want our workers to be aware of what it would mean for them and how it will impact them, whether positively or negatively, so that we can be prepared to deal with it. Other issues that we have some serious concerns about, health issues. Talk about the National Health Plan. We need to be educated about that.
These unionists say they are looking forward to working along with the government, particularly since the tripartite bill has been passed. 5 suspects convicted in the court on housebreaking and stealing charges. 50-year-olds Leroy Heald, Alex Rolle, 19, and Terrell Heald, 18, all of Freetown pled guilty to 1 count of stealing from a dwelling house and 1 count of stealing. Leroy Heald was sentenced to 3 years in jail. Alex Rolle will spend the next year in prison, while Terrell Heald was given a fine of $4,000. But if he's unable to pay that fine, he will spend the next year in jail. Now, the charges relate to an incident reported to police by Club Fortuna Resort on Friday of last week. Police tell us that all of the stolen items were recovered and will be returned to the rightful owners as ordered by the court. Also from the court today, 17-year-old Joey Sinat of Pinders Point and 17-year-old Richard Russell of Simple Village in Martintown were charged with housebreaking and stealing. They all pled guilty and were both sentenced to 2 years behind bars. The charges are connected to a housebreaking case in Pinders Point in November. Police say the stolen items were found. Richard Russell also faced housebreaking and stealing charges that took place in 8 Mile Rock. Stay with us, the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition continues right after this.